freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for.
Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. The program is Chris, live in Central Pennsylvania for your daily dose, your daily injection, your daily antibiotic against the misinformation, misdirection, disinformation, propaganda, racism, bigotry, stupidity, and people wearing signs. It is Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. I'm operating on about 3 hours sleep over the past 3 days. For those of you who follow events, I am a judge. And by the way, I was reelected. Not only did I get 78% of the ballots cast at my polling station, I also received 97% of the votes for the position. I received 97% of the votes for my position. So I actually got 700 more votes from this one tiny portion of the legislative district, which last year only gave me 100 and some votes. I now 15 times as many votes as I got last year. I got in this election for this office. Now, last year I competed for the state legislature of this district, which was much larger than my polling station, my precinct. We have 5,400 people in my precinct. We had a low turnout, but in the district we have thousands, 30,000 or 40,000 people, something 50,000. Anyway, last year I received only about 60% of the votes, or 55% of the votes I received yesterday. I got 78% of the total ballots cast at the polling station that day. And actually, I think the figure's higher because it's actually higher than that. So let me take a look at that. Yeah, so yeah, the number I came up with, it's actually higher. I was mistaken last night. I must have miscalculated. So I looked at the official results today, and I got, let me see, divided by... Yeah, no, I didn't get 70. I get 98% of the votes. I was wrong. It wasn't 78%. I'm like an African dictator. I got 98% of the votes. That's too funny. Do I work for Marvel? Yes, I do. I work for the Marvel Universe. I was embarrassed at getting 78%, but it's 98%. Oops. Math error in my favor. Anyway, so let's get to the news, folks. Thank you, Mad Max, for the super chat, making it rain. It's rigged. Recount. It's rigged. It's rigged. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let me enjoy my non-Starbucks beverage here. Wow. I got 700 more votes, and over 700 more votes than I got 700 more votes than I got last year. And last year, the pool was much larger. It was about 28,000 to draw from last year. And this year, the pool was much smaller. Anyway, wading into that pool. Welcome back to the program, folks. Busy times. When I finish this, I've got to do the show with Ronaldo and Susan. But with that, I have to draft an article for the newspaper for Veterans Day week. What's this? Yes, the Democrats will now come to the table. 12 members of the Democratic Party in the Senate have approached and said they're interested in ending the shutdown. Why? Because they now they can claim some sort of victory. Nothing to do with the shutdown, but the election results, which, first off, people losing their minds over these election results, take a deep breath. The Republicans weren't going to win in Virginia. They weren't going to win in New Jersey. They weren't going to win in New York. Those races were over. And morons who've been granted citizenship illegally, illegitimately in California voted against their best interest. So we're going to cover that stuff here coming up. But before I get into those stories and the news from South Africa, let me just bring some of these images up here and talk about this, okay? So this is the first thing. These are the three races that there wasn't a snowball's chance in hell that the Republicans were going to win these races. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Three key races, one on a proposition to steal votes in California and eliminate Republican voters in California with redistricting, gerrymandering, New Jersey governor race and Virginia governor race. Never a chance that the Republicans are ever going to win. And anyone told themselves that were deluding themselves. So here are the results. If you look at Proposition 15, California, 64% of Californians voted to remove Republicans from the ballot. That's essentially what they've done. Yep. And you can see where the Democrats are. Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, and all the places where illegal immigrants are picking fruit and vegetables in the Central Valley. The conservative base is in the northern part of the state, which probably should try to break away and form its own state. In New Jersey, Cheryl won 56%. That's a convincing victory over Chitterelli, the Republican who nearly won the race last time. He did much worse this time. And she won it on the strength of the heavily populated neighborhoods of New York across the river, the East River. Not the East River, but the Hudson River. And the Virginia governor's race, where Democrats are racist. They are racist. They can't bring themselves to vote for a black woman. They're just racist. Isn't that what they tell us about Republicans all the time? Look at Virginia. The vast majority of the state is overwhelmingly conservative and voted for Winston Earl Sears. You can see that in red. Only those bedroom communities and the capital of Richmond and Norfolk are the places where Democrats are strong. But so many people have immigrated into there that they've turned this state upside down over the past 3 decades. Yes. There you go. What is Dave B talking about? What's going on over here? I don't see the comment, so I can't respond to it. Right, that's that first result. Let's talk about it. So if you thought the Republicans were going to win any of those races, you were deluding yourself. It was never going to happen, folks. It was not in the cards. Okay, so let's take a look at the Islamist in chief who's now going to run New York City into the ground and turn into a paradise for 72 virgins. Yep. The New York mayoral race, Zoran Mamdani, the inexperienced moronic asswipe who is now going to be the mayor of New York, received just 1 million votes out of a city of 10 million people. 1 million votes. Not exactly an impressive turnout, despite the lies in the media saying that, oh, everybody turned out. No. 1 million votes is all he got. Only 2 million people voted. That is a small percentage of the eligible voters in New York City. Curtis Sliwa, apparently many Republicans following President Trump's advice, voted for Cuomo, who still couldn't pull it off. I hope this is the deathbed of Andrew Cuomo's political career. I hope we finally stop hearing from him. There you go, folks. And you can see where the Cuomo race did well in Queens, surprisingly in part of Brooklyn, and also in Staten Island. But Mamdani won this race on the strength of rich, white, privileged shitbirds in Manhattan and poor others in Brooklyn. Yep. So there you go. Curtis Sliwa got just 7%. His vanity project is over. The Republicans need to stop running people who can't win races in New York City and can't relate to people. Anyway, that needs to stop. So across the board, the Democrats had a very good day in these races, but the media are trying to portray this as a hit on Trump. It's not. Trump only really came out and endorsed Cuomo. It was the Democrat who was accused of sexual misconduct, former governor of New York. He didn't really come out for most of these other races. Democrats sweep big races. California approves a redistricting plan. So Virginia governor race, Spanberger wins by 15%. In Virginia, Jones won by 6%, a little bit closer. New Jersey governor race, Jackie Sherrill won by 13%. And the Texas House District 18, the Democrats won by +3. And New York City mayor's race, Mondami won by 9%. Yep. And there you have it. So Democrats had a good day for that. And local government is where government really hits the road. So that is a significant victory for them. This is a state still run by a person who's negligent in his duties as Attorney General, arguably a criminal, the governor of Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, little Josh Shapiro, who failed to uphold the rule of law in the 2020 election. Yep, and impinged upon people's constitutional rights. He has no respect for the law, despite being an attorney, the Attorney General, and then being foolishly elected as governor of the state. It shows you how corrupt and how stupid people are. How corrupt and stupid people are. Oh, my goodness. Well, on to South Africa. Kachala says that South Africa is lucky to have Ramaphosa as president. Why? Why is how is South Africa lucky to have him as president? Please, inquiring minds want to know. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. This guy is on drugs. Kachala. He's on drugs. Well, ANC members defect to the Democratic Alliance as more musical chairs takes place across South Africa. And no doubt politicians are hailing this as a big moment, but it's not. Ask yourself the motivation for why these members left the ANC. Did they leave the ANC because they oppose Bella? They oppose NHI? They oppose expropriation? No. Did they leave because they ascribe to the ideals of the Democratic Alliance? No. Why did they leave the ANC? Because they were bum-hurt. They didn't get seats they wanted. They didn't get promotions they wanted. So they left and took their toys, threw them out of the pram, and ran to another political party. Their commitment to the Democratic Alliance is not genuine. They are simply looking for privilege. That's all it is. Yep. Former ANC Western Cape Secretary Neville Delport has joined the DA after being demoted in a recent ANC leadership restructuring. The floor crossing of Delport and 3 other former ANC members in the province will trigger political shifts and by-elections in some municipalities. Helen Zille claimed this marks a broader ANC decline, while Delport criticized the ANC for sidelining elected colored leaders. See, it's not about commitment to the ideals of the Democratic Alliance. Das Mayer says, same goes for Ronaldo joining Freedom Front Plus. No, I disagree entirely, Das Mahler. You don't have the facts. You don't have the facts. Ronaldo wasn't demoted. He was kicked out of the party who violated its own constitution. Ronaldo Jose, by a committee that investigated the bogus allegation against him, voted 4-3 to retain him, but to suspend him for a short period of time. He was overruled by dictatorial fascist leaders in the Democratic Alliance. That decision was overruled. So he's not bumhurt. No, you got that completely wrong. Completely wrong. No. And it was easily predictable. I mean, he was going to join the Freedom Front Plus. Haven't seen this video, Marissa. Anyway, these Delport, Bonnevale, and Daniel Bodkes are just looking for privilege and perks. They are not committed. If they were committed to the ideals of the Democratic Alliance, why didn't they join a year ago? Why did they join Democratic Alliance in advance of the 2024 election or right in the aftermath? It's not about that. It's about losing their seats and their privilege inside the ANC. So these are just Trojan horses inside the Democratic Alliance, and the Democratic Alliance is not smart enough to realize that. And here he is. Delport. Neville Delport. We're a party of values and principles, not a party of transactional politics, says Helen Zille. Really? I'm sorry. Helen, you're invited to be a guest on my program. I'm still waiting for your PA to get back to me. It's now been 5 weeks since I first requested an interview, and I've gotten one polite reply, but no serious taking on this. If I continue to get ignored like this, then I will start hammering the DA just out of spite. How you like that, Mapples? That's a joke for those who are not acute enough to pick up on that. Listen, we're a party of values and principles, really. We're not a transactional politics. Then why did they come to your party? What principles do they espouse? Let me see. We'll do a normal structured contract if you're going to do some work for us, but apart from that, the possibility of no incentive offer on the table, some say. But so-and-so is offering me X. Well, that's just bad luck. Well, you offered them attention and a position in your party. And once they don't get what they want, they'll probably leave the party. So hang on to your hat. Well, Kachalia is worried about Mkwanazi's uniform. His appearance before the public military regalia and being armed worried me. I'm sorry. So a police officer carrying a service revolver or a firearm, a sidearm, worries you. Why does this guy have anything to do with the police oversight? What is Kachala's deal? Is he stupid? It worries you? And by the way, you are the people who gave them general officer titles, not the SAPs themselves. This is why I said military rank structure has no business in police service. It's ridiculous. It's dangerous. Yeah, so you get over yourself there, Kachalia. You know what you're talking about. It worries you. It worries me that you people give your police officers rank equivalent to the military. It's not acceptable. That's what worries me. Well, I couldn't justify the disbandment. Kumalo insists that the task team success was unmatched, but they disbanded anyway. Wow. Crazy. So he says it was taken apart, but we couldn't justify tearing it apart, but they did anyway. Well, it came as a surprise. Kumalo says he was not consulted about the disestablishment of the task team, political killings task team. Wow. Head of Crime Intelligence Lieutenant General Dumisani Kumalo said he was not consulted before suspended Police Minister Senzo Mkunu disbanded the task force. Wow. Okay. The guy in charge of intelligence doesn't know they're going to disband it. That's crazy. Yes. Well, the big news yesterday emerged from the U.S. Embassy. I did a short on it. The only thing I could do yesterday while I was working 18 hours at the polling station, I took a short break. I did it, a thing to alert people. And apparently, that did tip off a number of people who went and checked into it. The U.S. Embassy has finally published standards for the U.S. government on what to expect for the refugee program. The good news is that most, if not almost all the things I've told you from the outset have turned out to be correct, even with changes, modifications. This program has got changes and modifications to what they've been doing with the 59ers, what they've been doing subsequently. So there are some changes here. If you have previously submitted a statement of interest and not been interviewed, I will read this to you so you make no mistake. If you have already been interviewed by U.S. RAP, participate. That's RAP, okay? Participation by any other U.S. officials or by an official referring partner organization, which would be the Amerikaners or RSC, do not complete this intake questionnaire. Completing the questionnaire could slow down consideration of your ongoing request or case processing if it's already in progress. If you have been interviewed by any one of these people, do not submit. That means to me, reading that I mean, although Alan said that if you already got an email confirmation, you shouldn't do anything. That makes common sense, but this is not explicit and clear, so that's kind of a problem. But the U.S. Embassy has updated its website, and Amanda Koza runs a decent article in News 24 telling the facts. Yep. So here we have it finally. We finally have it from News 24 admitting the truth. Except they lied again. But here's the thing. State Department says, why is this thing not working? You have to be an Afrikaner or a member of racial minority. Then right below that, they say that you have to be an Afrikaner. So very confusing. Two conflicting paragraphs. One says one thing, one says another. 4 more dead in a 12-hour stretch in Cape Town as gun violence rages on. 4 people have been killed in Philippi East in the past 24 hours as gun violence in Cape Town shows no sign of abating. Yeah, so take the guns away from lawful gun owners. That way, these people are the only ones who have guns they can kill at will. Well, has the secretive offsite forged unity in the government of national unity? Huh. All right, sorry, I had to send a message there. So, yeah, I don't think it was really done much for them. This is why this doesn't make any sense. Guided by the basic program of priorities contained in the Statement of Intent, the GNU has adopted the medium-term development plan as a transformative vision and program for the 5 years of this administration. 1 year and 6 months into this administration. I guess it took them that long to figure out how they're going to divide the spoils. Why should I worry? Suspended education director in the Eastern Cape says, why should I worry? I'm getting a paycheck. I'm staying home. Yeah. Eastern Cape Education Communications Director Vuyiseka Mboksela was suspended in August after being accused of harassment. But she's staying home and getting paid. She tried returning to work this week, claiming her 6-day suspension was lapsed, but the department extended her suspension. She's accused of contributing to a deteriorating work environment within the department's communications unit, alleged to have caused emotional distress to an intern who collapsed at work and was later taken to the hospital. Wow, she must be a real difficult person to work for. I'm just saying. Must be the case based on this, but who knows? I'm not there. I can't say. Pick and Pay looks to expand in neighboring Botswana, folks. Yep. Retailer Pick and Pay has identified growth opportunities in Botswana. I don't know how. The economy is struggling. So the country's sound governance, that's true, and promising long-term economic prospects. That's true, too. Today, they announced they've partnered with Vivo Energy. They distribute and market and supply Shell-branded fuels in 85 service stations in Botswana. So I guess they're going to expand in petrol stations. That must be what's going on. That must be what it is. Tanzanian police supposedly, or according to opposition, have disposed of bodies of those whom they murdered in the recent election violence that let the misogynist in chief, Suluhu Hassan, return to power in Tanzania. Sad situation there as well, folks, unfortunately. Tanzania's main opposition party today accused police of disposing of the bodies of hundreds of demonstrators killed in a crackdown following the disputed election that incumbent President Samia Suluhu Hassan won by a landslide. I mean, she won her election by almost the exact same margin that I won my election by. I think something fishy is going on here. She had the exact same margin that I did. Are these Dominion machines? The opposition Chadema party was barred from running from last week's parliamentary presidential elections, so she got 98% of the vote. And here she is. She's taking office now, the disputed president of Tanzania, the woman who hates women. She looks like a garden gnome. Her inauguration as president of Tanzania came as opposition leaders rejected the outcome of an election where they were excluded, and she was named winner with 98% of the vote. Nigeria's true guard to Trump. This is what we call deflection, folks. Deflection. State-backed religious persecution impossible under the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump did not claim that the state is responsible for persecution of Christians and the murder of them. He didn't claim that. He said the government better get control of the situation. That's what he said. Thank you, Anarchy, for your membership. Nigeria's Foreign Minister Yusuf Tugar said yesterday state involvement in religious persecution was impossible under the laws and Constitution. He was responding to a question about President Trump's warning of possible fast military action if Nigeria fails to crack down. Speaking in Berlin alongside his German counterpart, Johann Wadepool, he points to his country's constitutional commitments to religious freedom and rule of law. Oh, please. Dude, it's Nigeria. Yusuf, do you not know your own country? Do you not know the history? Have you heard of Sani Abacha? Your constitutional laws don't mean jack shit. They don't mean anything, man. You don't mean anything. Unbelievable. Venezuela's Maduro is preparing, now using an app so you can stitches for snitches. You can drop comments and narc on people. Venezuela's Maduro, fearing a U.S. attack, promotes an app to report suspect behavior. Faced with the prospect of an armed conflict in the United States, not going to happen, Venezuela's government seems to be encouraging citizens to spy on each other using a revamped mobile application to report suspicious people activity. The app is called VenApp. It was launched by Maduro in 2022 as a hybrid application, integrating a messaging service with a helpline for people to report issues with utility services, but now they're using it for snitches. Dropping dimes on your neighbor. All right, big news here, folks, in the U.S. after the Democrats feeling their oats after last night's victories in races that they should have won, and they did win. I'm a judge of election, and that's what I've always been. Roughly a dozen Senate Democrats have urged or signaled their desire to make a deal. Privately signaled they are willing to support a stopgap funding deal to reopen the government in exchange for a future vote on health care. Negotiations are still ongoing on exactly what kind of stopgap funding bill the Senate would take up and how it would pass the House. But the presence of 10 to 12 Senate Democrats open to the deal could be a breakthrough in the funding standoff. It is. It means that there's a possibility that this thing could be sorted out within a week or so. Possibly. I wouldn't hold my breath. I still say later in the month. President Trump says election night was not good for anybody. No, it wasn't. It was good for the death of America. President Trump today lamented Democrats scoring victories in the four major races of the year's elections, saying that he did not think the results were good for the Republican Party or the American public. It was not expected to be a victory. I don't think it was good for Republicans. I'm not sure it was good for anybody, but we have an interesting evening, and we learned a lot. So he's right, but it was not good. Judge of elections. That's correct, Ann. You have a judge of election. New York City Mayor Mamdani vows to enact his socialist agenda and stand up to Trump. I'm sorry, aren't you the mayor of New York? Why are you standing up to Trump? Why don't you clean the shitty streets of New York City? I think that's much better. Cuomo lost. This morning after his, they call it monumental victory. It wasn't monumental. In New York City, Zoran Mamdani began to turn his attention to how he would lead, saying Wednesday that voters had given him a mandate to make the city more affordable for residents. Not going to be possible with your socialist ideals. You will simply destroy what's left of New York, which has been destroyed by Bloomberg, the fake Republican, and by Bill de Blowhard, his successor, and now by Eric Adams. Well, the demon rat socialist, communist, Islamist fanatic has won New York City race. Look to Zoran Khan, Sadiq Khan's little protege. New York City is gone, ladies and gentlemen. The Islamization of America is in full force, just like the United Kingdom. These people have given away our country to people who don't share our values, don't believe in the same things in our Constitution, believe in repressing women, and all the other things. And anti-Semitic Jew haters too. Well, CNN, of course, has some takeaways. And they're saying, Mamdani defeats Cuomo again. No shit, Sherlock. He won the primary. So what? Big suburban swing, except that's not entirely true. The Spanberger, the former CIA agent, won a competitive congressional race in 2018 and sat there until now, and now she ran for governor. She won. Barrier Falls in Virginia. So in a race that had two women, one of whom was blank, CNN feels it's important to remind us that the barrier, the glass ceiling has fallen. A woman has now become the governor of Virginia. No shit, Sherlock. There were two women in a race. Did you miss the Vagina Chronicles? Did you miss the Vagina Chronicles? Two women. Winston Earl Sears and Spanberger. Two women. So of course a woman's going to break the glass ceiling. What a bunch of stupid people. No, he was born in Uganda, if I'm not mistaken, Chris. He grew up in part of his time in South Africa. He was born in Uganda. New Jersey reveals anti-Trump sentiment. And this is the biggest comical lie from the CNN right here. In Virginia, candidate quality was a factor as Republicans grumbled for months about their nominee. But New Jersey was a different story. Chitterelli had a strong statewide performance under his belt in his near miss in 2021. He also had his own brand, a Jersey guy appeal. His praise, but Trump's, he hoped that would give him some separation from Trump despite the president's endorsement. Chitterelli's praise for performance in office as Democrats' relentless advertising campaign trying to tie him to Trump in a state where registered Democrats outnumber Republicans by more than 800,000. So they're trying to claim that it was an anti-Trump vote where Democrats outnumber Republicans by 800,000 votes. That's just asinine. Newsom's big redistricting victory. Yeah, California is gone. It's lost. Lost. There's nothing left. Heritage Foundation's president's chief of staff has resigned over this bullshit with Tucker Carlson and the white supremacist Nick Fuentes. Ryan Neuhaus, who was chief of staff to Heritage Foundation president Kevin Roberts until Friday, has left after it struggles with the fallout from the Mr. Roberts' defense of Tucker Carlson. Well, Mr. Roberts should leave too. Resigned after being replaced Friday as chief of staff and reassigned to senior advisor. So he lost his job, then he resigned. Yep. Roberts made appearances Friday with radio host Dana Lush and podcaster Ben Domenech after being pillared by fellow conservatives for the video, which started out by saying that Christians can critique the state of Israel without being anti-Semitic, and of course anti-Semitism should be condemned. He defended Carlson for hosting Fuentes, known for his anti-Semitic and anti-Israel comments and for some admiring words about dictators Stalin and Hitler, and said neither conservative figure should be canceled. Well, that's a matter of opinion. That's a matter of opinion. Cancel culture, I just ignore them. I mean, I've never listened to Nick Fuentes, never paid attention, and don't really pay much attention to Tucker Carlson anymore. The United States has hit a record level of oil production under the Trump administration. We're producing more oil than at any point in history. LNG exports are up 25% from a year ago after we got rid of Joe Biden. U.S. is witnessing a surge in energy production with crude oil output at an all-time high, according to Interior Secretary Doug Burgum. Countries in the Middle East are so thrilled to have the United States back in the game of energy abundance and energy growth as opposed to following some European model of trying to shut down all the traditional forms of energy. And under President Trump, drill, baby, drill, the United States set a record for oil production in July, 13.6 million barrels a day. And there'll be new records going forward. That was in July. But the data only now being coalesced and coordinated. So the U.S. is now at record oil production. The world's largest oil producer, the world's largest energy producer. Supreme Court is hearing the arguments today for and against the president's use of Trump's 1977 law, use of tariffs, 1977 law. In one of the most significant economic cases to reach the Supreme Court in many years, the justices are weighing whether President Trump acted lawfully when he imposed sweeping emergency tariffs against most global trading partners. These actions have been challenged by a group of small and medium-sized businesses as well as a dozen states. And it doesn't look too good for the Trump administration. Chief Justice John Roberts, the turncoat, fake conservative, questioned the key argument made by the Trump administration to justify the tariffs. Justice Amy Coney Barrett also pressed on the law the administration is leaning on. And the problem with this is that the president is following the law. If they don't like the law, then declare the law unconstitutional if it violates the Constitution, which it doesn't. McDonald's says deals are bringing people back into its crappy restaurants. Revenue grows 3% for the company, pushing value and affordability as fast food chains are struggling with traffic across the board. The Chicago-based burger giant said sales for the most recent quarter climbed after it boosted spending on its value meals, new products, and marketing, part of the Golden Arches' broader effort to win back cost-conscious eaters. Well, I'll tell you what. I go to McDonald's and it costs me $18. That's in America. That's one reason why I don't go to McDonald's. I can't afford that. It's ridiculous. If you've got 4 kids, you're going to be bankrupt going to McDonald's. Holden says Tucker Carlson should be silenced and censored like Alex Jones was. I don't think either one of them should be silenced. Just ignore them. Censoring people? No. Not unless they commit crimes. That's different. Then they don't have a right. LNG exports are up dramatically after we destroyed the Russian pipeline. No. That pipeline was destroyed 2 years ago when our exports didn't go up sharply. No. Exports are up sharply because of the Trump administration's policies. Hey, Jaya. Truck driver's dash cam video of the Louisville, Kentucky plane crash. No, I didn't. I did not see that. Thank you for that. I'll have to take a look at it, but I've had no time, guys. Yeah, Jaya, thank you for that. I didn't see that. And Peter McCabe says, hi, I'm still here. Hi, Peter. Didn't know you left. First the stock market, now oil production. Trump's policy is clearly working. And we're not seeing the inflation that they claimed. Well, the doubling of prices. No, the doubling of prices happened under Joe Biden. Things have come back down to earth under Trump. Yep. You can relate to being shadow banned yourself. Oh, of course I can. Shadow ban and being censored are two different. Well, they're not two different things. But why would I censor them? Why would I censor Nick Fuentes? Why would I censor Tucker Carlson? I just don't listen to their content. Oh, it's frustrating. It's also illegal because it was done on behalf of the government, which made YouTube an agent of the government in violation of the First Amendment of the Constitution. People should be in jail for that. Marcel Bucks. Thank you for your 4 months membership. Oh, no, I've been Judge Wyatt for a long time, if you want to call me a judge. Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Marcel. Yeah, no, but I'm like Hassan in Tanzania. I get 98% of the votes. Here's the thing, folks. That means I got almost every vote from Democrats, too. Truly grateful for your correction to keep our national image less blotchy. Zoran somehow did. Did what? Forest was shrinking, but the trees kept voting for the axe. Yeah. For the axe was clever and convinced the trees that because his handle was made of wood, he was one of them. That's good. That is good, folks. Yeah. Hit that like button if you haven't done already. There's the news for today. Any questions? This isn't a refugee stream, but I will answer any questions you'd like me to answer about the updates in the program. I'll be happy to answer anything on that if you guys got something for me. So I received several messages from people in WhatsApp about people claiming to have worked for the refugee resettlement program and relocating South Africans, and they got fired. And they're angry that Kenyans are being hired, and they're lying to people about what's going on. Well, they're liars. There was nobody in South Africa resettling South Africans to the U.S. as refugees until RSC got involved. They are people that may have worked for refugee resettlement, but it was Rwandans and Congolese and Somalis and others. That's okay, Otopi. Excuse me. Tired, guys. Yeah, well, if we had that when Lundville started, we would never have had the revolution we had in talk radio. Judge Dredd Wyatt. I am the law. Tampering with public communication systems. Guilty. Obstructing a peace enforcement officer. Guilty. Sentence, 5 years. Dredd! See in one of the WhatsApp groups that 4 people disclosed the location of interviews to other people in the group. Yep. Good. I don't know if they're going to be removed, but they should be removed from the program. They've been told not to share that stuff. Yep. Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, it was Facebook. No, I've warned people not to do that. And I've also reported it's dangerous. I mean, what kind of morons do that? You're not helping anybody. You're putting lives in jeopardy. It's not just people traveling far, Mad Max. It's people being jerked about. I mean, you're ostensibly living a life. You can't just pick up and go every time at a whim because they don't know how to coordinate things. I'm not needing a Starbucks. I need sleep. I need sleep. Guilty, life sentence. Journalism will be shocked to the core. Did he get my life sentence for the interfering with the public communication system? I forgot. I saw that recently again, too. I hadn't seen it in a while. I didn't like the character Armand Asante had. Yep, Fabian didn't even tell his family where it was. He just got in the car and went with him. The lighter side of Dredd, the sentence is usually death with him. Yeah, exactly. Judge Dredd is the Hawks long before the Hawks came about. Yeah. Agree with that it's Trump's policies was just sneaking in an observation. What's Trump's policies like, Rain? Why the Democrats won? No, they were going to win those races no matter what. Perhaps know how long it takes to the program to secure. No, well, there's no how long, Jeffrey. Every case is different. Doing a background investigation on me with a top secret sensitive department information clearance and 40 plus years of federal service, having served on 5 continents in 80 different countries, it's going to take time for them to do my investigation. Yep. The My Case portal seems to not being updated for a week now. I don't know if it's not been updated. They may not have taken any action. There are no doctors in Kenya. What are you talking about, Ian? The doctors in Kenya aren't doing this. Thank you, Bitter Ender. Get a good night's sleep tonight. I can't, Bitter Ender. I can't get a good night's sleep tonight. I have my radio program 7 to 9 p.m. tonight. I'll try to get a nap this afternoon if there's time after I write the article for the newspaper. Take a short nap. But there's no time. There's no time. Yep, Sharia law. Where are you from? Where am I from? Are you asking me, Paul? Yes, curiosity nuggets. Some people have waited 3 or 4 months after being contacted and have gotten approval. Yep. Klein Sadadog. Yeah, that's what we're on. It's Wednesday, folks. Midfolk. Hump Day. Klein Sadadog. Yep. Anyway, yeah, that's what's going on. So, you're welcome, curiosity nuggets. Denny Dreyer, you asked a good question. I've covered it last night and earlier here. I'm going to cover it again. I'm going to read to you. The short answer is, in essence, yes. But if you take action, no. Does that make sense, Denny? That's the situation. Denny, yes, I like your avatar picture, by the way. If you take no action, yes, your previous SOI is invalid. But if you take action, it remains valid. If you've already been interviewed for USRAP, okay, but that's not what we're looking for. What I'm looking for is, where's it at? Okay, that's not where it's at. Where the hell is it at here? Here it tells you that you have to do it. I thought that was in here. Where is that at? Here somewhere it says if you did one previously, you have to do this. I found this last night, so weird. Okay, maybe I'm just looking in the wrong place. Sorry, I've got 2 documents here. Moving to the Hamptons. Well, that's interesting. Oh, here it is. Here it is. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, geez, no wonder I couldn't find it. Pages are out of order. Okay, here you go. At this time, individuals who meet all the criteria and would like to be considered for referral for U.S. RAP and who have not yet been contacted by a partner to initiate referral. See, contacted, that's not interviewed. See? So if you've been contacted, that's what Alan and I were saying, then you shouldn't be submitting a questionnaire. If you've not yet been contacted, in other words, if you put it on the 12th of May and you haven't heard from anybody, you should complete an online U.S. RAP intake questionnaire, even if you've already submitted a statement of interest via the link previously provided. If you're still interested in the program and have not yet been contacted by a referring or processing partner to take action, statement of interest, you must complete and submit this questionnaire. That's what I was looking for. You must complete it. So if you sent an email in under PRM email or you sent in a statement of interest and you've yet to be contacted, you must go do the questionnaire or you will not be participating in this program. I think that was Deanie was asking. There's your answer. I was trying to find where it is in the document because I know I'd read it in the document last night. So, yep. And Marcel Koch, thank you for your membership. Yep. Now, if you've already been contacted, you're not supposed to fill out the questionnaire. Does that make sense? It's a very intrusive questionnaire. That's the bottom line. So keep that in mind. 1, 2, 3, 4. I get these pages all messed. 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So, yeah. All right. Loretta, the only advice I can tell you is to do what the embassy website says. And the embassy website is very clear about things. So, I mean, that's all I can tell you. It says don't submit one. So, I mean, that may not be a comforting thought, but that's what it says. And I would follow their advice. Somebody having Chavez Regal. Thank you, Fabian Bridger, for your 8 months of membership. And thank you, Jonathan Peach, for your 14 Rand super chat. Mr. Echo says, if you are married and been divorced, select and complete the current status, not both sections. Yeah, well, if you're married, you're not divorced. You have been divorced. Your status, it's your current status. What is your current status? Widow, widower, married, divorced? If you've remarried, you're not divorced. You're married. You were divorced from your previous spouse. Does that make sense, folks? All right, you're going to be redirected after the stream automatically to Ronaldo program, Wednesdays with the Colonel. Single. All right, well, bitter ender. Congratulations. Okay, I suppose, if that's what's good. Yeah, it's in 10 minutes' time. Daniel says, I don't think the questionnaire is too bad. Loads of questions about criminal terrorist links. If you're good, it's basically no, 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 all the way through. Only complete one section, yes. Lovely place in South and North Carolina. I have a friend there that immigrated there 5 years ago, and he offered us to help us out. Well, there you go. You can tell them that, James, if you get interviewed. The most Jewish city in America voted for Muslim. That's actually an accurate statement, Light Rain. Of course the U.S. says every night you know who your spouse was. You might have been married to a terrorist. You might have been married to an Lady Pondor. We want to know. Colonel Cook has Ronaldo fatigue. Well, I haven't seen him in a week, so I don't have fatigue. I'm also a man alone going over by myself, says Cronier. And Lee Mother's Love is just waiting for the flight. New York will show the world how stupid communism is now. Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. But the media, Madison Avenue, will cover it up. They will hide it all. It will hide it all. Where can we follow government voting? Which government voting? What are you talking about? Johan, what are you talking about? We just had an election yesterday. What do you mean by government voting? You talking about the Senate? Most of the major media sites in the U.S. do live updates when that's going on. CNN, New York Times, especially. New York Times usually has decent election coverage. Their other coverage isn't so good. Listen to your voice now, okay? I received my case number, but not yet phone. Well, according to this, you shouldn't. Read through the website and make your own decision. Do I think Democrats win the next big election? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Stinky toes fetish stripper chats. That's disgusting. And I think Charles just gave you your answer. You're in the process. Don't do it. Peter says, our cases are linked, yet only one member got the call to go for interviews. When I asked the agent if the other applicants were getting a call, the answer was no. They must just come with. Okay. That's because it's a family group, I'm guessing. I don't know your situation. Sounds like a family group. They should have been explicit and told you that. Carlos enjoyed the interview with Kali Creel. Yeah, no. Well, I exposed her, but not as a spy, but as a government fraud. Can't do what she's doing. Hey, Wolf's back. Cost us a lot of money for the flights up and down. I'm now broke, but thankfully I'll be in the U.S. shortly. Okay, Wolf. Well, you'll overcome that very quickly. The shutdown. Oh, well, Johan, that could happen at any moment. The Senate could call for a vote on the floor right now. And so, you can just go to one of the U.S. news sites and follow it. The new form is foreign people have no contact as yet despite filling a statement of interest. Huh? No idea what you're saying. No, Andre, I have no news on any of this other than the stuff I've covered today. I haven't had time to look into that. So, yeah, I covered it. I mean, I've had very little time. So, my last 24 hours were a live stream until 1 o'clock in the morning and producing 2 videos till 2 o'clock the day prior, getting up at 5 o'clock, leaving at 5:30, opening the polls at 7, opening the building at 6, opening the polls at 7, running election until 8 p.m., shutting down, then wrapping up the equipment, sorting through all the documents, the compact flashcards, all this stuff, then getting in my car and avoiding accidents everywhere, and then 5 deer that other people hit, not me, thankfully, taking the returns down and getting home at 11:30, going on live at midnight for 2 hours, stopping, going to bed, getting a couple hours sleep, and getting up, doing an interview with Kali Creel, and then going to the Veterans Organization, to the post office, collect my mail, and then back here after picking up a few things at the store, and then do this broadcast. I have not had time to check in these things. I had just a little bit of time in there to research the news and find stories breaking or stories that need to be updated. We told you to go to bed sooner, but you wanted to continue the live stream. No, Alana, it was not the live stream. It was me making videos. I had to stay up for a while to edit the videos I recorded. Ian is saying any refugees who have mental issues or PTSD get referred to a doctor in Kenya. They're not going to Kenya to see the doctor. How can they evaluate you? Is the South African government moving terrorist cells to Venezuela? No, I have no idea, Holden. No idea. I doubt it. They don't have that capability. Well, Charles, you said what I didn't want to say. You said what I didn't want to say. And I think your comment is 100% on, because we're tracking the same way. Charles Van Alton said the new form, the questionnaire, is basically a net to pick up anyone who fell through the cracks. Yep. And if you had contact, they're aware of you, so just be patient. Charles, I couldn't have said it better. Well done. Will you visit South Africa again this year? Do I know Venetitoy Salom? Obviously, you don't know the channel. We have something called Fireside with the Colonels. Fireside with the Colonels. Yes, I know Venetitoy, and Venetitoy is a friend of mine. I've spoken at Sightlanders and Sightlanders Civil Defense presentations on 3 different occasions in Uppington, in Pretoria, and again back in Uppington 3 different times. Yep. Yeah, no, I do know Venetitoy. I know him very well. So, yeah, I'm just looking to see if I can find this. If it's here. Come on. Just another Neanderthal gave 140 Rand. Thank you for that. Thank you. We received final notice acceptance, waiting travel, but then my daughter was called back for an evaluation now under medical. Update, we're in progress. Okay, why are you giving me a question mark at the end of that? I don't understand that, Shelley. What's the question mark for? You just made a statement, then you put a question mark at the end of a statement. It makes no sense. Bitterness is voice reason, okay? How are you doing? Thanks to all the information. Michelle, I'm okay. Yesterday I was in misery. My hip was killing me all day. Terrible stuff. Thank you, Julia, for becoming a member. All right, I got to go and make sure Ronaldo's there if he sent me a link. See if he sent me one. He hasn't sent me a link, so I'm going to send him a note. I need a link. Well, I'm not going to end if I don't get the link from Ronaldo, so we'll stick here for a little bit longer. Got a problem with the digital signature and had to go back 2 days later, and we're told they're trying to fix it. That's a month back. Hope they fixed it. I don't know, Curiosity Nuggets. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, it's also a great way to capture the data. I talked about it last night with electronic. You can cut and paste and move data around. You can sort it. It's much faster. It's much more efficient than people writing things down, interviewing people individually, and then trying to read through that stuff. Is the Democratic sweep last night a bellwether? No, it's not. It's not. I don't buy that for a second. If the Democrats had won the governor's race in Indiana, if the Democrats had won the governor's race in Oklahoma, if the Democrats had won something, in a conservative state, then I would have said, okay, we got a problem. But none of this was there. What about the nuclear option? Do you think? No, that doesn't look like they're going to need the nuclear option. Looks like they're getting away from it now. Ask Ronaldo to not do a sexy dance anymore. Okay. You mentioned that Hamas is South Africa. No, I mentioned Hamas came to South Africa. I didn't say that. I said there are terrorists that operate in South Africa. Yes, that's true. They don't take acts there because they use a logistical base. It's a money laundering location. It's a recruiting location. Phone interview today. Cool. Pearl says, wishing so many. Don't worry, Pearl. Watch what you can. You know, I appreciate people tuning in. I can't twist people's arms. But, you know, remember that my channel needs the help to survive from its viewers. So, okay, I got to go. It's time for me to go to Ronaldo. We'll see you in Ronaldo in just a couple minutes, folks. Be sure to hit the like button before you leave. 339, only 286 likes. What's wrong with that? Something wrong with that picture. All right. Deanie, all right, I'll see you on Ronaldo. I hope I answered your question. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. Appreciate you being here. Cheers.